Hi guys, nice to find you again for this new live session of AxelTech. I'm Ilaria and I'm here with Enrico.
Hi everybody.
To introduce you our new digital console, which is our Oxygen 3000 Plus, which is actually here with us at our desk. This overview actually precedes an AB show where we are going to launch officially this product. For any kind of question, please use the YouTube chat. Just keep in mind that this presentation will be a very general one, not a technical one. So we'll start, Enrico. The first question is, since this product is basically the evolution of our previous Oxygen 3000, that was a very successful story, which are the improvements that we did in order to have a complete lineup?
Okay, after the Oxygen 3000 that has been very, very successful, probably our best seller in the last years, we learned a lot and we introduced a lot of new things and new features to adapt the product to all the requests we got from the market. So I think the major, let's say, improvement is that today Oxygen 3000, you see the very first unit on the table, comes in 3 different models or formats. So it's available in the 12 fader version, which is exactly this one. We have the 8 fader, little smaller, but we will have also the 16 fader, so much bigger than this, in order to be used in several scenarios and studio setups. So I would say this is the very, very first improvement we did.
Okay. So in your opinion, which are the features that make this product a winner in its category, just to have your sales point of view also?
Sure. On top of this, let's say, different models, it's a fully digital console, configurable, so there's a kind of modularity. I will go through this later. And it also includes, in my opinion, the widest range of inputs and output of its category. So, and it goes from analog and digital input and output, the USB, the audio over IP. Dante has been extremely improved compared to the previous features on the Oxygen 3000. And more than this, the Bluetooth connectivity, the telephone hybrid built-in, and on top of this input and output, we also included the streaming I/O capability. So I can say that there are there's no an equivalent product on the market at the moment in this segment. And in addition to that, I would say all the accessories and the features we develop and that can be connected, for example, the talk box, let's say, complete the product in a way which there are no real competitor on the market.
Yeah, actually we kept some of the accessories that were available also before with Oxygen 3000.
Sure.
But Enrico, we want to know more about what this console can do, if possible also by making a comparison about what we kept from the previous model. So please tell us.
I spent a few words at the beginning about the modularity. This means that the console doesn't matter if we're talking, it's the same for the 8, 12, or 6 fader, there's a modularity. So there's a main input-output audio card which can be doubled. And this extends the numbers of input and output. So for example, the Oxygen 3000 Plus goes from 5 up to 10 microphone inputs, while before we were limited to 5. It also has the capability to connect up to 8 talk boxes, the same model of Oxygen 3000, so which can be shared and, let's say, use exactly the same model. Another important, let's say, improvement is about the compressor, which are now available on any source, any input, while before it was limited to the microphone. We also introduced, and this is something you can immediately figure out looking at the surface, it's it's include much more signals and information. First of all, the display status available on every single input channels. It displays the source, the name of the source, levels, and all the settings of the connected input, so like Phantom enabled or IQ and things like that. So in terms of control panel, it's really much more powerful. There's a dedicated display just for output, so while you keep browsing and settings and inside the menu, all the input and output level remains available on the additional display on the very top on the right corner. So the panel has changed incredibly. On top of this, N-1 channel configurable on every output. So, and this is again another improvement in terms of configurability and application. Then one of the major advantages that the Dante interface is now, there are two different boards that can be installed, 16 or 32 faders, input and output channels. And compared to what we had before, it's much more. And so one of the card in the modularity of the console can be one audio input board and one Dante with 16 or 32 I/O. This is really a game changer, and it makes the console as if it was a real IP console. So I would say this is another very important development. Another detail is about the streaming input-output. Then we just published the web page, so for more detail and more technical information, you can browse and check our website where you will see other important details. Oxygen Remoter, so the software which is next to us is still available and let's say developed to support the new input-output capabilities and to display all the additional faders with the 8 virtual faders that were still part of the previous development. Power supply unit, it's now external and can be as well single or redundant. And these are, let me say, the major difference compared to the Oxygen 3000. At the same time, I'm gonna quickly repeat some of the features that are, let's say, on both Oxygen 3000 and shared, correct, between 3000 and 3000 and plus, which are the HDMI output, and it's the second screen next to us. And also this is the home page, which tells you about if there's anybody connected remotely, if you are in control, and it shows you all the I/O and settings about the console. The rest of the surface, let's say the rest of the core, it has been renewed. So there's a new electronic using the latest component, and I would say these are the major improvements.
Okay. Also, Enrico, since you mentioned many times the concept of modularity,
yeah.
Can you help us understand how many configurations are available? Because actually, this is not going to be a compact console as it was for Oxygen 3000, but there will be a high chance of customization.
Yeah, there are almost 10, 11 configurations. So for 8 fader, 12 fader, and 16 fader, you can choose a configuration with 1 or 2 audio interface. Each of them brings the 5 microphone inputs, so in case of 2 you have 10 inputs, and the related concept to the output. And also the board related to the Dante, the 16 or the 32 I/O. So all those combinations allows you to go up to reach something like 10 different configurations to, let's say, that matches, let's say, all the requests we got in the last year in terms of I/O and size of the console sometimes.
Okay. Of course, sales department is at our resellers' disposal to guide you, let's say, in the interpretation of the new chances of configuration and connected prices.
Yep.
And speaking of prices, Enrico, we ask you, starting from when it would be possible to place some pre-orders of this new product?
Okay, we will take the chance of NAB, so next in nearly 15 days. NAB 2023, we will introduce the Oxygen 3000 for the very first time at a show. It's a already working prototype. We're doing the final, let's say, final adjustment for the production, which already started. So it means that we will accept pre-order during NAB, during April, and the very first unit will be available for the market for delivery, in June. So June, it's finally the date where we will start releasing product to the end user. So we will for sure, after this show, this presentation, today's presentation, we will share with our distributors and dealers the list price and, let's say, all the terms in order to start proceeding with pre-orders.
And most probably also a proposal for a first stock, hoping that many of you will be interested in this. Let me repeat that at NAB we will be waiting for you in Central Hall at stand C2016. There will be Enrico and I, and of course Stefano, Marco, Simona, and Silvia.
Let's say the entire team will be there.
Sales team, exactly. And I see that there are no questions.
So of course, it has been a very general overview, so there's the scope is not to go in technical detail, but I think this gives you an idea, and we'll be waiting also for your comments.
Yeah, of course, feel free to write directly to us if you have our emails, and you do, and in case everything also is online on the webpage of the product.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
See you then.
See you.